Me doesn't upload in 3 months. Me uploads twice in 1 day. I know it's still day 1 of Vlogmas and I've literally just uploaded my intro to Bookmas video, but I kind of felt that that wasn't really a proper video. It was just a, hey guys, I'm going to be making videos video. And something's come up in the past couple of days that I want to make a response to while it's still timely, while it's still appropriate. So I thought I would record a quick Cuppa Corner for you today, because it's been a while since I've done it and I've even dug out my proper camera. So unfortunately you can actually see my face in clear detail for once. In honour of Bookmas, we are drinking my fancy Christmas tea from Whittards, which is very fancy. And because this flat is so bloody cold, we're going to be drinking it out of a little penguin on an iceberg mug from Kath Kitson. As with all discussion videos this week, I think you can kind of guess what this is going to be about. It all started when Mercedes of Mercy's Bookish Musings made a video discussing whether her standard of the books she was reading had decreased this year, or whether she'd simply become a more critical reader because she'd had like a pretty shitty reading year. And this kind of triggered a slew of discussion videos and video responses, and people kind of talking about your standards of reading, burnout, reading slumps and reader self-care. A lot of people have come back to that age-old Booktube discussion video that rears its head every time there's the slightest bit of drama in this community of what it means to be a reader. Although it's rarer, there's also been 1 or 2 videos about the drawbacks to Booktube. I definitely agree with Mercedes that the more we read, the more critical of a reader we become. It's just a natural progression. In the first year of videos I was making for this channel, I probably gave out 5 stars just because I hadn't read anything in years. I was like, my god, words are amazing, 5 stars for everyone. But now I might not even give those same books 3 stars because I feel that I have become more critical in my reading, because I feel like I have experienced more great literature whereas I hadn't before. I feel like my reading's almost become more sophisticated, but not in as snobby a way as that sounds. Just in terms of my experience with reading as well as what I read, now I vlog my wrap-ups. Every single book gets a mini review as soon as I finish it. Quite often it will get a Goodreads review, which I do need to get better at. It nearly always gets a review on my blog, it always gets a star rating, and I've actually started filming actual video reviews. So I literally have more experience about being critical in relation to the books I consume. I engage critically with all the mediums I consume. So if I watch a film, I will then sit and have a conversation about the film. I'll break down what I enjoyed, what I didn't, what I felt worked, even if I enjoyed it or not, if it achieved what it set out to do. And I do this with books as well, but obviously with books I do it to a much higher standard. And sometimes I feel a little bit uncertain about doing that because I've never had any formal education surrounding literary reviews. I never did an English Lit degree, I make no secret of that on this channel. So sometimes I wonder what right I have to be saying that I've developed a higher sense for myself of critical engagement when really I don't have the first fucking clue what I'm talking about. When you consume any form of media, your purpose is to engage with it critically and to tear it apart. That's the point. That's why we read. Not to tear it apart negatively, just to get in amongst the workings and really figure out and understand what's happening, no matter what J.K. Rowling tweets. Like, another way to show how much more critical I am becoming is that I would never dream of DNFing books before I started this channel. I would just force my way through the book, even with the excuse that, oh, if I'm going to say I don't like a book, I want to know all the reasons I don't like it all the way through. Fair enough if you're going to make a sport out of hate reading books, which I've tried not to do this year. Just the act of DNFing a book shows that you have enough of an understanding of your own reading ability to think, all the signs I've been given up to this point indicate to me that I am not going to enjoy this book further down the line, and on balance I think I should stop reading it. That's an incredibly sophisticated, critical skill to develop. It really is. Like, when I'm doing my uni work, I need to be able to read the first introduction of an article and know whether or not that's going to be useful, because I've got other things I could be reading to help me write that essay. So it is a skill that is applicable in other fields as well. Does it occasionally diminish my enjoyment of reading? Yes, it does. There's always this very critical part of me diminishing the things I've read, calling fault with the things I've read, and it's always saying things like, oh, that's a bit problematic, maybe we shouldn't be reading this, or that could have been done a bit better, that's not up to the correct standard. And it does kind of wear on you after a while, and it does kind of reduce how much fun you're having when you read, and we're here to have fun. But I recently ploughed through a book that I wanted to DNF because I felt it was an important book to read. And it's now put me in a reading slump. So I should have just listened to those critical instincts that I've honed these past few years and stopped reading the damn book. All I wanted to do while I was reading it was to pick up something else, and now that I've forced myself to finish, I genuinely have no excitement to pick up my next book. And there's only a few weeks of the year left. I don't have much time to be wasting, and yet here I am, not reading anything. Actually, Ariel made a video about this recently that kind of ties in, and she was talking about competitive reading and how the bigger booktubers just have so much time to give to reading that they can read so many books in a year, like 100 or 150 books, and then the rest of us who have work and uni to do and who just want to crash on the couch and watch TV with our other halves, other things take priority to reading sometimes. That's okay, it's okay to have a life outside of reading. But when they're reading 150 books and I'm going to be lucky to scrape 55 books this year, it makes me feel really inferior. It almost makes me feel like I don't belong on Booktube. Obviously not one person has said to me that I am a substandard part of this community, but it's just been a feeling I've been struggling with recently, which is why I've made very few videos this year. Looking back, I think I've made 17 videos all year. I just kind of feel like I'm making videos in a void, and it's not that I particularly care about my subscriber count being static. I'm overjoyed to have any subscribers at all, but I just kind of feel lonely on Booktube. Like, everyone else talks about the community, and I don't think the community is really all it's cracked up to be, unless someone really makes an effort to open the door to you. I know there's probably more I could be doing to engage in the community and just with other creators generally. And I realise this sounds really bitter little channel kind of ravens, but I want to talk about my issues with Booktube honestly, otherwise what's the point of being here? It's just kind of hard to carry on when you don't feel like you would belong and no one would really care if your channel went down. One thing I do think was uncalled for in the midst of all this drama was the kind of really arrogant superior attacks on the Goodreads rating system. Just because you go on Goodreads and the books that are popular are not the genre of books you enjoy does not mean you can call out the entire website for being shit. It feels ridiculous that I've even got to say this. We are grown-ups, why do we need disclaimers to protect ourselves from people who have different opinions from us? If you go on Goodreads and you see that a new YA release has had I don't know, 6,000 reviews and they're all 4 or 5 stars, and it's not a particularly well written book in your opinion, and you're like, hey, why doesn't this obscure classic that I love only have 200 reviews and why are most of them negative? You can't control or vet the traffic a website has. If lots of people who enjoy YA are going to go on there and review YA, there's nothing you can do. If it really bothers you that much that you want to pull other people down because of what they enjoy reading, then I suggest you are the one who should stop using that website. I just hate this culture of superiority readers with a capital R have. We all have to compete to be seen as a really intelligent, bookish person. And I don't know. I just think it's something we've got to address. But really, we know who the main perpetrators of that kind of attitude actually are. I know everyone is putting disclaimers on these videos like, oh, I don't want to sound negative, but this sounds really negative, but I love Booktube anyway. But like I said, we're all adults. We should be able to discuss any negatives or any hesitation we have openly. That's how a community would progress. It talks about its issues, it finds solutions, it implements them, and it moves on. Having discussions about negative things doesn't mean we don't enjoy reading and don't enjoy making videos. We should just be able to have a rant every now and then. We should. And that's one thing that I've seen watching these videos. At the end, everyone kind of just exhales and look a lot calmer and a lot more at peace than when they started, because they've said everything they need to say. All the little things that have just been biting at them over the past couple of months have just come out. So maybe we should all just have a rant video every now and again, because when I was hate reading books and it would give me a chance to make a rant video or just generally do a rant review, it is like a huge release of like pent up aggression at books and Booktube, and we need to realise that we're all not just readers with a capital R or public readers. We have lives outside of this as well, and that's just as important as reading to us. Yeah. This was a rant and a Cuppa Corner, so I promise this is the last video you're actually going to get from me today. Have a lovely evening, and I will actually see you tomorrow. Bye!